muffin, where you at? I came here for vengeance, watch your back. No need to defend, I'm on attack. Sorry they can't reply, but I guarantee they had a blast. Pop, 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 I be on the next to only I am fresh to death.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Monday. Today starts week 3. So, first 2 weeks, pretty simple. I have definitely noticed that my body is moving through food a lot faster. I was about to say that my appetite was up, but it's not because of the Retatrutide. So I can tell that my body is moving through food, but I don't have the massive increase in my appetite alongside it, which has been incredibly nice. Trying to figure out the lighting. Anyways, the Retta, I have definitely noticed a big difference in how I feel. I can tell when it's time to eat, but I don't have this like massive hunger signal ping that's just driving me nuts. And I don't have any cravings for the junk that is in my pantry. Because any parents out there who have prepped with kids or have just tried to diet with kids, you know how easy it is just to grab some of their snacks sometimes and then you can be off to the races very quickly. But I have none of that desire whatsoever. Since I didn't go over my supplementation aside from my peptides and that stuff, I figured I'd go over my supplements now. This is part of them. I'm filling up my container today, so I figured I might as well go ahead and go over these. I have a bunch of stuff on the way from Revive right now, which I will add into this. And some of it's just a refill, some of it's stuff that I'm out of completely. But this first one is omega-3s. This is a really high omega-3 content omega. There's 43 or 4,200 milligrams of omegas in this. And I like a large amount of omegas in the diet in whatever way is easiest. Getting it in food is always good, but knowing exactly how much you're getting in and there's good quality is always good insurance. So omegas are great for you. Pepsin GI. It's just zinc carnosine. Zinc carnosine works on helping out the stomach lining. Just keep it healthy, keep it repaired, keep it from having issues to where you don't absorb your food well. So a little bit of zinc carnosine. Zinc's also good for immunity, but the carnosine directly helps out a little bit more with the stomach. Joint support, I take a half dose. It's 6 pills, so I take 3. I don't have, I've got a little bit of achiness in my joints, but nothing insane, especially since I'm taking the BPC and TB500 and stuff. So I don't feel like taking 6 of these when I'm already taking a shitload of other pills too. I love Revive's products. They're great products, but you end up taking a shitload of them. This is kidney. So it's 3 pills of this, Revive Kidney, if it'll, no, okay. So we got grapeseed extract, astragalus, organic beet, pine bark, estrogen, and bioperine. Those last 2 are just for uptake of the ingredients. It helps your body absorb them better, but all the others in there are for kidney function. Now, I do not have kidney problems, but the way I see it is we have one set of kidneys, and if they ever go bad, we've got a problem. So I'd rather keep them as healthy and functioning as possible. This is magnesium. I like to take magnesium in the morning to go alongside my caffeine consumption. Whoa. Because it helps me not be jittery or anxious from caffeine, which I don't know where that came from all of a sudden. I used to be able to destroy caffeine and it not affect me at all. Maybe I was just unaware that it was affecting me. This one is Complete Vital for your heart. So full serving is 4, I take 2. Again, my heart is fine, all of those health markers are fine, but a little extra insurance never hurt. This is a liposomal D3NK2. So liposomal just meaning that it has a fat delivery source, which is the best way to take that because they are fat soluble vitamins. Artichoke, or no, this is milk thistle. Good for your liver. And artichoke extract as well is also good for liver detoxification. So I got this going here. And then a recent addition is not coffee, but cheers. Coffee's been in the whole time. Some L-theanine. I only need to do these 2 bottom ones. There we go. I only needed to do 2 there because I had already, when I first got that bottle in the other day, I went ahead and put them in there. And those 2 bottom ones, I just finished them this morning, or I finished one of them this morning, the other one was yesterday. But so finish those up. Those are all of my morning supplements, or yeah, the supplements that I take first thing in the morning. Actually, I did forget one. This is not one that I take every single time. I don't take this every morning, but this is Methylene Blue. I showed this the other day. This is the brand that I get. It's Best 365 Labs. My shirt is going to take the focus of the camera. It's Best 365 Labs, and it's the NeuroPro Memory. This has NAC, so Methylene Blue, 20 milligrams of Methylene Blue in 2 tablets, 100 milligrams of NAC, 100 milligrams of glycine, 50 milligrams of niacinamide. And the idea there is this is just for brain function and overall general health. So I think I've been taking a bit too high of a dose on that, so I'm going to cut back. I almost fell. I'm going to cut back on that and just see how my body responds to it. I was taking like 20 to 30 milligrams a day. I'm going to take 10, see how that feels, especially now with all the introduction of all these other peptides. There's a big increase in like oxygen uptake to your brain and mitochondrial function with Methylene Blue. And there's also mitochondrial improvement with the SLU. And I'm taking a higher dose than I have before. So I don't want to over rev my mitochondria. And then we're in a spot where my body is dysfunctional the other direction and working through things too hard. So last thing is SLU. So I always take these pills first thing in the morning with no coffee, just water. So I put the SLU in there, and then the rest of the bottle will go into my gym bag because I take the second dose at the gym. But Authentic Aminos, oh, it focused and then it unfocused. Authentic Aminos, SLU, PP332, Sloop. That's knocked out now. It's time to go sit down and do some check-ins. I have a number of prep clients checking in today who are getting closer to their shows. Zach competes this weekend, so this is going to be me running him through his peak week and us kind of testing out the waters on what's going to work best for him to get him dry and full. And then a couple other guys who are like 8-9 weeks out that I had to potentially make some tweaks to. So time to go get some work done. All right, it's time to make some breakfast. Oatmeal, 100 grams. Beautiful. While that's cooking or getting warmed up, I'm just gonna chat for a little bit. So I'm 2 weeks in. This starts week 3 of the cut, and there's a couple of things I'm already starting to notice. One, I feel great. I feel very locked in again. It feels really good to be doing this and abstaining from cheat meals. Not that I was going insane before, but being a little bit more locked in on the diet. I feel really good mentally. It feels really good to push against something, which is the main reason I wanted to do this. I talked about it earlier. The Retatrutide has been really, really interesting. because I'm only taking a milligram a week. I do 500 micrograms twice a week right now. That will go up with time. But the interesting thing is like when it's time to eat, I know it's time to eat, but I'm not dying of hunger. But there are some times where I notice my blood sugar is pretty low, and that's like a big trigger of like, hey, yeah, it's time to eat. So I don't think I need any more than a milligram for the next couple of weeks anyways. I was thinking in my head probably Saturday and Sunday that like more than likely this week I'd start to ramp things up a little bit as far as like pulling some food down. But I started to notice that my body is really responding again. It's really starting to move forward. I'm down 4 pounds in 2 weeks. And at first I was trying to figure out if it was a bit of a fluke or if it's actually like moving that direction. But it seems to be kind of dropping a little bit. I expected a drop this morning, but it wasn't. It was up very minimally from yesterday. But I am down 4 pounds, so I think come Wednesday, we'll see for sure. That's my check-in day, so that's when I'm going to make a real decision on what I'm going to do with my food. But if things are cruising along really well, I'm just going to keep rolling as it is, which was the original plan. And that's a point that I want to touch on for people is that when you start a diet, there's this phase where you look worse before you look better. Because what happens is you flatten out because you're having less carbohydrates, so the muscle is less full, but you haven't quite tapped into fat stores yet. So your body still hasn't kicked into that like aggressive fat loss phase. So you just deflate the muscle, but you don't get rid of any of the fat or a very small amount of the fat. So then people start to panic and they go, I look worse after starting my cut. I'm not doing something right. Let's pull more food. And then that trend continues for a couple of weeks at a time. Peanut butter is so good. That trend can continue. I've seen it happen for up to 4 to 5 weeks with certain clients, especially depending on how dialed in they are. So if you're doing this stuff on your own and you're like, oh my gosh, it's been 3 weeks and my weight has barely changed and I don't notice a big difference and I feel like I look worse right now, the best thing you can do is wait. Obviously, if you have a very specific timeline of like, I only have 8 weeks to do this, you can't wait to a certain extent. But in the beginning stages of a diet, when you have enough time, don't get too ahead of yourself because you can start to cut calories when it's not necessary. And then you're going to have to go through a phase of refeeding yourself because you let calories get too low. And then you have to put yourself in a surplus for a couple of days to get yourself out of that stress hole. So, and most people wouldn't even know to do that. Most people would just go, well, it's still not working, I gotta pull more food. And then they end up in a spot where they're eating nothing and not getting progress. That is a massive, massive tip here of if you are doing your own diet and you're trying to cut, don't get too far ahead of yourself in the process and start ripping food before it's necessary. You can actually slow that progress down. It's not always about just less food, more activity, because your body will change and adapt in a poor way to doing that. So I got a couple hours of check-ins done. Still waiting on some more people to check in today. It's not a ton more people, but all the prep people are knocked out. And then one of the things that I do on my walk is I knock out training feedback. So anybody that sent me videos that I haven't gotten back to, like if they sent them yesterday because I take Sunday off, or if they sent them to me Saturday after work hours and I hadn't gotten to them, I will go ahead and knock those out. Allows me to kind of knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. Well, 3 birds with 1 stone. 1, I got to get my steps. 2, I got to get the dog to relax and go to the bathroom. And then 3, I can knock out some of the training stuff so I don't have to do it later this afternoon. I can just focus on check-ins or whatever other things that I need to get done. 25 grams of peanut butter. 25 grams of honey. A scoop of Labrada Hydro, code Bagley 10. Mix all that in. Eggs are done. Nice runny yolk. For the veggies. I turn the burner down a little bit for these because it doesn't take a lot to get these wilted, and I'm not trying to burn my vegetables. And last thing in the oatmeal, 200 grams of blues. Abrupt jump from the house to the gym. I was a little bit behind. I had tissue work last week and something else got pissed off, so she offered to do a little bit of extra. Shout out to Jamie Pop. She did a little bit extra, and then she needed some help with Jordan Hutchinson's QL hip problem. So I helped with some ART stuff with her, and just now getting started with my session. So, Jesus Christ, these shorts are gonna be rough for this. I don't need a ball popping out while I'm doing these. So, I don't go crazy on adductor work. Stay very light with these. I don't go to full failure on these. I've dealt with too many adductor strains over the years, and I just don't think absolutely destroying them before my session or before I do everything else is a good idea. So this is my warm-up set. I'm not even counting. I have no idea how many I've done. Very light, 95 pounds. Just trying to get everything activated and ready to go, get my hips warmed up. I'm definitely gonna go up, but I just don't go insane on these. And I'll usually do 2 warm-ups that are higher reps, not to failure, and then 2 like working sets that are closer to failure. Okay, so leg day done, cardio done. Time to go home and eat post-workout. I'll probably do what I normally do, make it, shower, and then eat after it's cooled down. But that was it. Leg workout was pretty solid today. Really enjoyed it. Really good quad pump. My hamstrings were a little kind of meh. Didn't really connect with them well today for some reason, so it happens. I did a little bit more volume on seated leg curls, so the lying leg curl I didn't feel jack fucking shit, so I didn't keep pushing on those. So overall, good leg workout, but time to go shower, eat, and then get back to work. Okay, home now, post-workout, 120 grams. There we go. It's the blueberry muffin Elevate Cream of Rice. It is fantastic, so really enjoying that with the peaches. Beautiful. These are a lot more ripe than the last ones that I got, which is great. I like when they're soft. This half goes in the freezer or refrigerator for safekeeping.
I skipped 4 Olympias, and I regret skipping every single one. And I always thought to myself, oh, I'll be better. If you beat somebody like Quint at his absolute best is a top.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. You're talking 15 to 15.
It's good to have goals.
With Marcus Rule again.
I'll add
Like a maniac. Really?
Is he really?
Yeah, he's...
my Himalayan pink salt, a quarter of a teaspoon. There's an 1/8 a teaspoon in my post-workout shake. So I already had more salt there. So now that is made, I will go shower, get rinsed off while this cools down. Okay. Post-workout, the cream of rice that you saw me make, and my peaches. Way better when they're ripe. Now I was saying earlier that it feels really good to kind of push against something again. Try to really be trying for something versus just like randomly doing things and kind of maintaining. And that feeling is really pushing me in the gym, and it feels good. Like I just really like it. So for anyone out there that feels a little bit lost with their training or what they're doing, find something to focus on. Find something to go after that's going to challenge you and be tough. You know, like, this isn't tough yet, but I'm going to make it tough on myself. And I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing what I can do in this period of time. So, yeah, that's all I really have there. But I'm going to finish eating this now, and then time to get back to work after. Check-in's done, and I knocked out a new client program as well. Just brought a guy on who's going to do Masters Physique at some point. So now it is time for meal 3, which is my second favorite meal of the day. My favorite is the creamy. How can you beat eating ice cream for your last meal of the day and getting shredded at the same time? You just can't, you know? You just can't. So this meal on training days is 200 grams of rice, 130 grams of chicken. That chicken breast got burnt real bad. As you can see, I put all of my food in big containers and cook it in bulk. It just makes my life a lot easier doing that. Instead of having to like make fresh food every time. Like rice could be really easy, and I know some people are very big about not wanting certain like starches and things like that with the rice when you let it sit after being cooked. Oh, come on. Meh. Jesus. But I've never had an issue with it. It's never caused me any stomach problems, so I'm going to keep doing it. I'm just cooking every single day. More rice just sounds like more time than what I have. Look at me, guys. I'm making an excuse. Could I do it? Sure, but I don't. My lettuce is almost gone. I need some more lettuce. Lettuce really doesn't have much nutritional value, if I'm being honest. So this is more or less for bulk to the meal. And I like the crunchiness of the lettuce in the wrap. I feel like when you get a wrap, you need a little crunch to it, you know? Okay, and that's the rest of my lettuce. Well, there's a little piece. I'll pop that in. Okay, the best part. Goat cheese. Me and Brittany are absolutely obsessed with goat cheese. It is delicious and amazing. It's got good fats, protein, and it's delicious. So that's the biggest thing there. It adds a little bit of like creamy texture to this wrap, and with the black truffle sauce that I do with this, oh, that combination of those two flavors is just phenomenal. Look at me, perfect, 30 grams. Actually, I think that's supposed to be 40. Yay, it is 40 grams. You gotta make sure that you distribute the goat cheese throughout the wrap for proper taste. Mostly just put this in the pan so it gets heated up and it's a little crispy, not just in the microwave. Like I said, I like a little crunch with this wrap. And then fruit for this meal is watermelon. I love some watermelon, and I'm going to take advantage of watermelon season. The OG. This is the best diet soda. So a lot of people who see me and my dog on a regular basis have seen that he has lost a lot of weight in the last like year. He's lost like 12 to 15 pounds. I haven't had him weighed in a while. But part of that is because I started giving him like whole foods. So this is a frozen food. I just mix it in with his kibble because I can't afford to just feed him this stuff. It's really expensive. But this stuff has changed him dramatically. Meal 4, or no, meal 3. Meal 3, my chicken wraps. I showed them to you already, told you how much was in it. A little bit behind typical schedule today, but it's not a big deal. I haven't been like starving with the thanks to Retta. And since I have 4 meals, I have a little bit of leniency, like an hour or 2 on when I need to eat. I was about an hour behind on meal 2, so I'm about 45 minutes behind on meal 3, but not that big a deal. So gonna eat this and then have some editing to do because I'm putting up a podcast for tomorrow. I need to get all of those clips done and then be chilling for the night. So I'll show you guys the creamy tonight, as long as I remember to do it this time. I gotta start saying something other than okay so for every time I start one of these fucking videos. Creamy, goes in the microwave. You do the defrost. I do it for 55 seconds. This helps make sure that the blades don't get too caught up. It kind of softens it up a little bit. Plus it helps with the texture so there's not like the iciness to it. Still the outside edges still stay a little icy, but it just makes sure that the whole thing kind of has a creamy texture, a creamier texture versus like a icy texture. So play around with how much or how little you defrost it. Because if I defrost it more, it makes the ice cream softer. If you defrost it less, it makes it a little bit like thicker. So figure out the time that works for you. Mine's 55 seconds. I've been doing this a lot. So I told y'all some of the things that I was going to do to clean up a little bit of the diet more was to start weighing the Fairlife milk that I put in here as the base. because I was not doing that before, and then I was going to switch away from the amazing and wonderful Andes mints that I was using. They are delicious, but they're working against what I'm trying to do right now. So I switched to dark chocolate, 72% dark chocolate. There's nothing in particular of like, you picked 72% because of this reason. I don't have any fancy things to tell you about that. I just like dark chocolate. I know the darker, the more pure, and the better like antioxidants and all that fun stuff that there is in it. So that's the only reason. I guess I just gave you a fancy reason after I said I wasn't going to have a fancy reason. But 30, oh man, wow. So 30 grams there, and then weighed out the Fairlife in there as well. I do need to adjust it though, because I'm using more milk than what I had originally on the actual app. I had 240 milliliters, and to get the consistency and the way I like it, I needed 300. So yeah, but I'm gonna mix that, and then I've got my caramel Rice Crisps, got 100 grams of those, and then some fruit, and that's gonna be the end of the night. So I should record some stuff tomorrow. I don't have anything crazy fancy going on, so I don't know how different it'll be from some of the other ones, but we'll see. I might record tomorrow, maybe Thursday, something like that. We'll see.